Hey guys, Swifter here. Today I want to show you my realistic and dynamic temperature system in Minecraft. As usual, this was made in vanilla Minecraft without any mods, just commands and resource pack magic. So, how does it work? Well, when you load up the creation, you might notice this thing above your hotbar. This is your temperature gauge, and you're going to need to keep an eye on it while you're playing. It's pretty simple to understand. Red means hot, blue means cold. If you get too hot or too cold, you will start to take damage. While you're playing, you'll want to balance your temperature so the pointer is staying in the middle. The system can tell what your environment is like and changes your temperature accordingly. Try to stay away from objects that will tip you over the edge and cause you to take damage. The system tracks a lot of things, and I mean a lot of things. For example, shelter, biomes, daytime and nighttime, altitude, blazes, magma cubes, polar bears, snow golems, rain, fire, lava, ice, water, armor, fire resistance, and torches. That's only about 15% if you consider the ones I didn't mention, plus how I had to specify a value for every biome in the game. If you'd like to know every detail, I've left a file containing all the information about the data pack in the description of the video. I've also added two new custom items, the ice cap and the magma plate. These are craftable armor that can be equipped to either raise or lower your temperature. This is really interesting as you'll need to think about whether it's worth having full protection but risk freezing or burning, or sacrificing a slot to balance your temperature. You craft an ice cap by combining ice, packed ice, and blue ice in a helmet-like formation. You craft a magma plate by combining soul sand, magma cream, and magma blocks in a chest plate-like formation. If your armor's durability wears down, you can throw it on its respective block to regenerate its durability. There are also other things to know about this system. For example, if you are actually on fire, then your temperature gauge will display that you are too hot. Another thing is that if you have one or more experience, your temperature gauge will shorten to compensate so that it isn't overlaying the number. There are also custom death messages. Dying by burning will say, player couldn't beat the heat, and freezing to death will say, player couldn't handle the cold. Alright, now let's get into the technical side of things. So the system is essentially broken down into points. The more points you have, the hotter you get. You burn at 30 points and you freeze at minus 30 points. Something is defined as being hot or cold depending on whether it gives you negative or positive points. Being near a block also means you are 3 blocks away from it. This is achieved by cloning in a 7x7 radius around the player filtered toward a certain block, and using execute store success to save the result to a scoreboard that can then follow up by checking if the player has at least one of that score. This cloning check system has a downside though, which unfortunately cannot be avoided. Whenever you are near a temperature changing block, that block will create a block update every time it is checked because it is technically replacing the block. The biomes are checked by using a lot of advancements. First I looked at the Minecraft wiki and rated every biome with the amount of points it would give. I then went from 30 to minus 30 and created advancements that held all of the biomes with those values. If there were no biomes with a certain value, I would just not make an advancement for it. The advancements then have rewards for a function that corresponds to them. The function will deal with the scores and then revoke the advancement from the player. Everything else involving holding items is pretty simple. Just check for their selected item slot in their offhand slot. Being near entities is also really simple. You just need to use the distance argument in the selector and set a range of up to 3. All of these temperature related things, with exception from the biomes, run on a 3-tick clock to avoid lag. Remember the point system from the beginning? Well, this point system also works in tandem with the temperature gauge. I made an image for all 59 states it could be in, plus the freezing and burning animation. Then I did that a second time for the shortened version of the temperature gauge. Now here is where the most time-consuming and frustrating part of the data pack came: displaying the gauge. Essentially, the temperature gauge is the action bar displaying a custom character. Custom characters are something recently discovered by an insane person called Amber W, where you can go into the default.json in fonts and add image directories to it, and that somehow shows up in game. The thing with the custom character system is that you can scale it, but you can only move it up and down. The action bar also likes to crop off any unused pixels in an image, so you can't move it that way unless you want a 10% opaque pixel to throw off the whole image, but you'll likely never unsee that. So the solution was something called negative spacing that Amber also invented. Somehow, putting this weird file in your font folder and adding some code to the end of default.json will allow you to call these little translate things in JSON lines and they will move the text around for you. I obviously don't need this for just the temperature gauge, so fine, right? Well, not really. If you're paying close attention, the burning/freezing animation also creates a custom skin to cover the hearts for an extra touch. I essentially created 3 assets: the full 10 hearts, a half grayed out heart, and a fully grayed out heart. So the idea is to have the 10 hearts and slowly cover over them with these grayed out hearts. This is actually the most annoying part of the entire thing. You see, if you have an asset aligned, then adding another one will throw the entire thing off. So you have to fiddle with these negative spaces to get it all aligned. I eventually found a pattern, but getting those first couple of alignments took hours. Having one asset aligned and the others 1 pixel off was excruciating. I eventually got it to work, and I really think it was worth it. To install the data pack in your world, download the file from the description and drag it onto your desktop. You'll then want to find your .minecraft directory by typing %appdata% into your search bar. Mine is .minecraft showcase, but yours is most likely .minecraft. Open the world you want to play in and go to the data packs folder. Drag the temperature file into your world's data pack folder. If you plan on using the resource pack, you can take the temperature RP file and put it into your resource packs folder. If you don't want to use the resource pack, the data pack also supports no resource pack mode. But obviously try to use the resource pack if possible. Now let's test if it works. Equip the resource pack and load up the world. And that's it. I put a lot of effort into this video, so maybe consider subscribing if you would like to support me in future projects. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the data pack. See you in the next one.